How's it going, everyone? Welcome back. You guys said it would be interesting for me to do a least favorite characters, so that is what we are going to do. Originally, I was going to do a top 10 least favorite characters, but I decided that some of the characters in the top 5 are more of an honorable mention than an actual, dislike, so I'm going to do a few honorable mentions. We're going to do just 5 honorable mentions, which are characters I'll still play and I can still enjoy, but they would be considered a least favorite character, but they're not truly least favorite, if you know what I mean. So let's go ahead and go down the list of 5 characters that I just don't enjoy in the game. I don't like playing them, personally. Number 1 is, for me, Nusha. I just don't find her interesting or fun, in my opinion. I'm not a fan of her weapons either. I get what they were going for, a trap-based style of character, and I do find her to be somewhat interesting, but I can explain the reason I don't particularly love her if we're wanting to get down to brass tacks here. She's good in a one-on-one scenario in a 4v4. Duels, she's fine unless your opponent has, any form of reads or understanding. On console, obviously, she uses a lot of light attacks. That's kind of, what she does. Her heavies are very slow, meaning her lights are her really only big thing other than doing a trap or doing a zone into a trap, but some of her heavies and stuff like that with certain characters, you would just have get out of jail free attacks, and not to mention her deflect. Some characters can just block it. I mean, it's not even guaranteed, so I don't get the point of that. Another thing I want to talk about is caltrops. The amount of Nushas I see that just throw caltrops, injuring, everyone, allies, just everything, everyone. It doesn't really help very often. And you see it a lot with them. She can be good, like a lot of people pointed out, with Warmonger. Yeah, she can do a couple things well, but primarily her executions are, they're decent. Her looks are decent, but I'm not a fan of her playstyle, light attacks, and then relying on traps that don't feel very reliable to begin with. I think if she had, if she could soft feint a heavy into something else other than a trap, I think she'd be very, very scary, but then she'd be borderline broken, so I don't know. If she could soft feint a heavy attack into a light, then it would just be absurd, because you'd have to guess if there's going to be a light or if she's going to do the trap, and it's difficult. She does have a parry punish as well. She's got the dodge attacks. But all in all, I just don't find her to be a particularly interesting or memorable character. I don't like the general design of the weapon. I don't like the feel of the character. Next up is, I know I'm going to get some hate from someone, maybe, somewhere. I don't know. I don't like Shaman. I don't. Yeah, she's good. She's easy to play. She's strong. I personally just don't like playing her. In certain matchups, it just feels easy to use her, and in a 4v4, she can be extremely strong when paired with other characters that can do bleed damage, PK, Nobushi. She can be very, very strong in those matchups. For instance, if your team is communicating, Nobushi, let's say, gets bleed or you get bleed, Nobushi goes for a kick. If they dodge the kick, you pounce. So they're either going to get hit by the kick, in which case Nobushi will hit them, allowing your bite to still more than likely connect if you're communicating properly, or your bite to connect, and then once you get your damage and health, Nobushi gets a heavy. So she can be good in a 2v1 scenario. I am not a fan of her looks. I'm not a fan of her the way she her moves, just the way she moves, the fact that she crawls at you like an animal and headbutts you. I just don't see the practicality in it from a semi-realistic game. I just don't understand how she moves so quickly while crawling across the ground at you. I don't get it. I just don't like the way she plays. I don't think... I get she's a shaman. I get it. But getting health from lights or the bite or heavies when you're bleeding, I am not a huge fan. I don't understand why she can soft feint into a stab or a guard break, but PK can only do a top light, but Shaman can pick any direction. She can do it on her zone, her heavies, the unblockable. I mean, she's got all kinds of stuff. She's got pounce moves where she can dodge back, and if you miss, she can pounce. She can do a dodging heavy attack from all directions, and she jumps much faster than a lot of other characters. Orochi's running attack is slow, even though he's running. Shaman's just jumping from 30 feet away, which, again, I'm not a fan of. I get why some people like the character, but she seems just completely unpractical. And I get it, some other characters in this game, obviously, are unpractical as well. They don't make sense, but her just jumping around all over the place, headbutting people and knocking people like Shigoki 3 feet back into a wall. I just don't know. I'm not a fan. I'm not a huge fan of the character. But as well, I also get why some people could get enjoyment. I don't enjoy her. I tried getting all characters to rep 8, but she still remains a 4. It's just hard for me to play her. Same with Nusha. It's hard. All my friends also would give me shit anytime I'd play her because, she's good. She's very good, and everyone hated her. Number 3 is just a personal preference for me. Yorman Gander. I've tried getting him up. I used him a lot when he was broken because everyone else was using him, and I used him to fight himself. He has a really good out of stamina punish. For those of you who don't know, if you parry someone when they're out of stamina, dodge to the side, do a light, and then a heavy. The heavy will be guaranteed, and then you can do your slam, giving you a lot of damage. I'm just not a fan. He's very simple to play, but I think that's the reason I don't like him. He's got some shorter ranges. He's got armor, which is good. He's got an unblockable, which is good. I'm not a fan of the limited move set. I like characters that have more moves, and I know Warden's a joke for that, but Warden I was able to keep playing just for them looks, dude. Them fucking looks I could keep playing for, and Warden was off and on while I played every other character. So if you go back through my videos, you'll notice Warden was very low on my tiers until there was a quad XP event, and I got him up really, really fast. And then there was a quad XP event for War Mommy, which is why she's 20. But I find Yorman Gander to just be kind of boring to play, in my opinion. Obviously, I'm not saying that he is boring to play by any of your guys' ideas. So if you like him, this is not a personal attack, obviously. It's just, in my opinion, I don't find him fun to play. Number 4, Tiandi. I don't like playing Tiandi, and I don't like fighting Tiandi. Tiandi kind of just feels like a meme character to me. He just throws himself around YOLO style, and it works. His dodges are extremely strong. He's got a deflect, which has a smaller time frame than most deflects, but it's still very good. His dodge lights are undodgeable. He's got the palm strike, which guarantees a light. He's got the kick, which you can feint. The kick, if near certain walls or if done properly, guarantees damage. His zone is extremely fast, very good, but primarily his dodges will go through fucking anything, which is why people love him, because you can just dodge right through anything. And that's one of the things I hate about him. I don't even like playing him and he has the same kind of issue for me anyway, as Yorman Gander, where he just, other than dodge and kick, he doesn't have really anything. He's got light into bash light, or he's got heavy light. I mean, or he just doesn't have a ton. He doesn't have a ton of moves. And I know that this game isn't about moves, but it just, he's got so little when I really think about it. And for instance, this palm strike into heavy, no one's using that. It's not, no one's gonna use that. No one's gonna fall for that. Even if it's armor, they can just dodge to the side. I mean, no one's using it. they're using these dodge heavies. That's what they use because you go right through everything, so that makes sense. I'm not a fan of Tandy, personally. Backed out too far. All right. And then number 1 is my least favorite. Sorry, I was going from 5 to 1. Number 1 as my current least favorite character, and don't even with me, people. No, I understand some people will complain. Is Griffin. He's very good. He's arguably really good, but I just find him very, very boring to play. I just find him to be a complete bore to play. He's good. Don't get me wrong. I mean, it's hard to lose with Griffin. I find him personally boring to play. I'll play him if people want to see me play him. But as far as his moves, he's got the JJ and Tiandi dodge. He can just dodge right through anything. He's got the kick, which guarantees a heavy. He's got undodgeables. He's got armor. He has a normal shove, which guarantees a light. I mean, he's got a good zone. If he parries in a 4v4 scenario, all of his attacks are armored. He does good damage. He's got good light attack damage. He's got some good executions. His feats are good. He's just another one of the characters where it's like, everything's good. Kind of like Kensei. Kensei has good feats. Kensei has good moves. Kensei has unblockables, armor, soft feints, this, that. It's kind of the same type of thing where he's good. But unlike Kensei, I really I like the way Kensei looks and the way he feels when playing, whereas Griffin to me just feels cheaper. He just feels cheaper and so much easier. Don't get me wrong, once I get him rep 8, he'll have some really cool looks. I mean, looks are not Griffin's problem. He's got some really cool looks. But he just feels so cheap and easy to play that I feel cheap using him because of how much the community hates him. But I mean, Kensei is also extremely powerful in the same manners at which Griffin is, but Griffin does it slightly different. So we're going to do 5 honorable mentions. Obviously, these are characters I'm willing to play. I don't hate them, but they're just on like if I had to make a top 10, these would be the other 5 characters I would add. And now these are in no particular order. It's just 5 characters I wrote down, and I couldn't figure out where to put them in a top 10, so I just listed them. So, real quick, Zonu, I find him odd to play, and I don't like just 50-50ing my opponent. Is it going to be an unblockable light? Is it going to be an unblockable heavy? Am I going to let the heavy fly? I'm not a fan of that. He does have a deflect, which it just feels kind of useless. His deflect just kind of feels useless. His dodge attacks are, they're good. I think he needs a small rework or at least a couple adjustments for me to really like him. And the other thing is I think his feats just need a small tweak. When people are burning, he does more damage, which is, it's cool. But I wish, if people burned a little bit longer and took less damage, he'd be really good. But bleed lasts so much longer than fire that you're just better off playing a bleed character. But I still find him to be a really cool character, and I like the style of sword and the way he uses it. Aramus is in a similar boat. Shinobi, my bad. Shinobi is in a similar boat. I like playing him from time to time. I know he's extremely bottom tier, but I loved him before all of his nerfs. I know he was a bit too much before the nerfs, but I think they hit him a little too hard. I still think he has really cool looks. He's got a cool design. He wasn't super practical in a 4v4, but he was still really cool. But right now, the only reason I don't like playing him is it's just really hard to play him, other than using his safer moves. And if you're up against some of these other like Griffin type characters or Tiandi, it's just going to be a really, really hard time for you to get anything going. Shigoki's another really tough fight for him because Shigoki has a ton of health. He has low amounts of health. Shigoki hits harder than Shinobi does, so Shinobi has to be really careful, but then Shigoki also has armor. He has the unblockables. He's got somewhat of 50-50s. If he still had the quad dash, he could get out of some of those mix-ups, but I digress. They messed him up a little bit. Aramus, I know he's going to be getting a buff. He's next on my list. I know he's getting a buff, but with where he currently stands, I just don't enjoy him. I think they when they did his nerfs and slowed him down, made his heavies super slow and all that, I just thought that they messed him up a little bit. Now, getting the sword blockade top heavy, I just think should be guaranteed. I know there's times where you can block it. I just think it should be guaranteed. If you get the sword blockade, it should be like Conqueror when he gets his shield blockade. It should just be guaranteed. Mainly because he doesn't have any real threatening unblockables, whereas Black Prior, Conqueror both have bashes that they can threaten you with. Aramus really doesn't have that. He's got the soft feints, which on console, yeah, soft feints can fuck you up. But he doesn't really have any unblockables other than the zone that you should really be afraid of currently. I know he's getting a rework, but currently, yeah, I want to like him, but he feels like he's held down a little bit more than he should be. Warlord is on my list. I know he's super strong. Everyone loves him. S tier. I just find him boring to play. He's very easy to play, don't get me wrong. I mean, you can pick him up, learn him about 5 minutes, tops. Very easy. Very, very small move list. He's got some general setups that really anyone can do. I want to like him because he's got the... Sorry. He has the crushing counters. He's got the... Or superior block, so it's a crushing counter. He has the armor on his heavies. He's got the headbutt. He's got the dodge forward heavy if you want to use that for any reason. He's got the all guard heavy that's undodgeable. He's got the all guard where if you block it you can stab him. He's got the parry where you can punch him with the shield. He's good. He's good. I just wish he had some more moves or something to offer. Because really his only got you type of card is when he goes in for a headbutt or he dodges towards you and you think it's a headbutt and then guard breaks you. But other than that, he doesn't really have a mix-up. He's just meant to be defensive. He's got a lot of health. He's really good. I just wish he was more interesting to play, in my opinion. And that goes for a lot of characters in this game. A lot of characters don't have a ton of stuff going on. But I do think some characters need a little bit of help, a little more going on. You can't be super offensive with him. I mean, you can try, but he's meant to be more defensively based. It's not like Berserker where when you feint, you get armor on whatever your next throw is. It's not something crazy like that, or you have the unblockable heavies that you can throw or anything like that. So he's definitely meant to be a little bit more defensive based. And I don't find him to be super interesting to play. Like I said, he's really good and you can do really well with him. I just find him to be reasonably... Most Warlords are easy to read and predict. The hard part is killing them because of how much health they have in a 4v4. Once they get their perks active, they become quite difficult to deal with. And the last one, I know, calm down everyone, is Conquer. I don't like the bash meta. I don't like the way he gets his damage. I don't like the way you can just kind of sit there and throw lights from different directions and end up killing someone. I don't think that's... And I've done that to people, and at the end of it, I was like, wow, what have I done? And granted, you should say they should be able to block or parry it, but... his heavy feint into a bash, he's got dodge bashes, he's got superior block when he dodges, so he can dodge right into an attack and then shove into you. If you haven't seen my newest Conk video, I don't think I lost any matches with him. I mean, I lost rounds and stuff, but I played him very defensively and he worked extremely well. So he's good. He's a very good character. Very good character. Really up there. He does have a slight different curve just because you don't have a normal feint. You have to go into your all guard to feint. That's not really a big problem. Most of the time you won't get guard broke out of it if you know your timings, and you can kind of get in the opponent's head with his all guard, and that is the fun part of him, and I enjoyed that during my duels. He is fun in certain scenarios, but he's not a character I could play for any long periods of time, and I know my friend will give me shit. He's got this guy at rep 20 or 30 or something like that. He's got Shinobi at rep 70, so basically a lot of characters in this thing that I'm going through. He plays quite a few of them. He liked Nusha, he liked Shinobi, he liked Aramus, and he likes Kong. That's right, Ghost, I'm making fun of you. Also, everyone leave a F in the chat if you see Ghost's comment, because His Xbox got broken recently, and it's not connecting to Wi-Fi. Rough. And he just renewed gold, so rough. Very rough. But that's really all I can say about Conquerors. I just don't like bashing a lot. That's the same reason I like Blackbriar, but I don't put him in my top 10 just because he is bashy. It's just dodge bash with Conk is very, very strong. And if any of you have been following my channel for a while, you'll know I had the same issue with Warden and Warmami. I did not enjoy just dodging through a move and then bashing. Eventually, I came to accept it, which is why I can play Conqueror the way he's meant to be played. But it took me a while to finally accept, dodge, bash, light, dodge, bash, light is, it's fine to do. I just felt like it was a sweaty thing that you would only see in ranked and stuff like that, but it does happen. People use it, and I've started using it. And Conqueror is fun when you play him to his highest potential. He's not as fun if you try to be honorable at all. You need to use the bashes more often. And Warden is much stronger once you use his bashes. He doesn't have that backdash one anymore, but when he did have it, he was very strong if you knew how to use it. Warmami's the same way. Dodge and bash is very strong. So that's my list. I know it was a little more ranty than the other one, but that's mainly because, I didn't want to put all of them in like a top 10. I'll never touch these characters type of thing. The top 5, I'll admit, Nusha, Shaman, Yorman Gander, Tendi, and Griffin, I don't enjoy. I find that they either lack substance or they're just too toned in certain ways. And the honorable mentions obviously are characters I'll play, from time to time, but they're not exactly my first go-tos, I'll say that. They're more of a my friend makes fun of me and says, "Why don't you play this character?" I'm like, "Ugh, fine." But if my friend made fun of me and said, "Play Shaman," I would laugh at him and be like, "Do you want me to play Shaman?" And his response is, no, please don't. Same goes with Griffin. Griffin's pretty strong. Yorman Gander and Nusha, my friends like, but I find them to be kind of boring. It's very repetitive, very similar. Don't get me wrong, all characters in this game are repetitive, especially Warden and Warmami, and I put them on a list of characters I like. So I guess it's just the way they play is slightly different. And the looks, obviously the knight looks just weigh in a ton. But anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed. If you have any other lists or something that you want me to make, or if you have any opinions of something you want me to talk about, let me know down below. And obviously, I can do this for multiple games. If anyone has a particular preference, I don't know if I have my hard drive. I don't have my hard drive plugged in. No, maybe I do. I have the 1 terabyte. I don't know. I'm missing some games here. But obviously, I can give opinions on stuff. Obviously, if I don't know it well enough, I'll tell you. I don't feel comfortable talking about it if I don't know it well enough. If I know a good amount and I'm willing and I can do some research on it, I'll also tell you that and I'll make a video on it. Otherwise, I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a beautiful day. And actually have a beautiful day. Over here, it went from 60 degrees this morning. Now it's going to snow tonight. So, woo. Anyways, I'll see you guys later. Have a wonderful day. And I'll see you in the next one.